Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna be solving the M25 Integrated Sciences paper. So let's begin. Let's get started with the first question. Let's just read it out loud so it gets easier for us to understand the question. Let's just break it down as well. So let's read the question. Medical technologies have evolved to allow for better patient care and faster recovery times. Average life expectancy has increased due to improved medical care and modern wound healing treatments. Let's read question 1a now. Wounds form after the skin barrier has been broken. The skin is the largest organ in the body. Select the appropriate description for each of the images below. I'll just go to the second page. Let's look at the image. Here, these are the images that are given. We have a description over there, I guess. Okay, let's just look at it. First, we have a really small cell over here. So, guys, what is a cell? A cell is the smallest unit of life. There's nothing smaller than a cell that is living. So let's just put the description over here. I can't really drag and drop it over here, but just for your reference, let me just put a text box over here. Just write smallest unit of life. And boom, we're done with this. Just make it shorter. Yep, this is the cell. And then next we see there are multiple cells. We know that multiple cells are called tissues, and if you don't know as well, that's what it is. When you have a group of cells working together to perform a function, let's say muscle cells working together to form a muscle tissue, just like that. So a group of cells working together is called a tissue. So we see there are multiple cells over here, so that makes it a tissue. We have the option over here, more than one of the same type of cell working to perform a similar function. No, that's not it. Oh yeah, that is it. I'll just put it over here. more than one of the same type of let me just format it for you. You just put smaller, expand it. I'm really sorry for the formatting issues, but it is what it is. I cannot record me solving the paper in the software, so we're just gonna have to settle with this. Okay, now we're done with this. Now as you can see, we have an organ over here. So just zoom in right here, we see this is an organ. So we know that an organ is made out of different types of cells, because for a tissue you can have more than one type of the same cell. So we see that there are many cells of the same type. That's what makes it tissue. But when you go to an organ, it is more complex than a tissue. It is made up of multiple different cells. You can have many types of cells in organs, many types of tissues in an organ. So let's just put that right over there. Different types of cells working together to perform a similar function, and that is our organ over there, because there are different types of cells that are working together to perform a similar function in an organ. And then we have the organ system over here. This is the entire every single organ in the body is in this diagram over here. So we know we have one more option left, and that is a living organism formed of a collection of interdependent parts. This is a living organ, and you can see that it's clearly formed of a collection of interdependent parts. Because guys, when you have your body, it cannot function without it cannot function with all the others performing and all the other organs working on. So that is what makes our body interdependent, because every single organ has to coordinate with each other for our body to sustain and for us to be healthy. So that is it. That is the first question done. The figure below shows the stages of wound healing. Let's just read this as well so it makes it easier for us to understand. So we have stage 1, where the outer layers of the skin are broken, and stage 2, the area is filled with blood and immune system cells which work to remove the bacteria and begin the healing process. And stage 3 is where the skin is repaired and filled with scar tissue. Scar tissue is basically you have those black things, right? Whenever you get a wound, whenever it's healing, you see this a brownish blackish layer that's um, like replacing the area where you have the wound, and it's really satisfying to remove. Yep, that is the scar tissue. Let's just move on to the next page. Let's just read the question. In stage 3, skin cells divide to form new cells to repair a wound. State the name of the process by which skin cells divide. Uh, is this a state question? So it's really easy. And the process that by which skin cells divide is called as mitosis. This is because mitosis is the division of body cells, also known as somatic cells. So basically, in mitosis, we in mitosis, body cells divide into two daughter cells, into two genetically identical daughter cells, to basically replace the older cells. For example, when you have a wound, what your body basically does is, um, the healthy just duplicates the healthy version of the cells. They just divide the healthy version of the cells. They divide into two genetically identical daughter cells. So just the two daughter cells are going to be completely identical to the parent cell that's divided. So you'll have new cells by then, and these keep on duplicating, these keep on dividing, these keep on dividing, these keep on dividing, and at the end you have new cells ready, and your body is ready to heal. So this process is called as mitosis. That's it. Nothing much, nothing less. Just put mitosis over here and you're. Now let's do question 1C. Uh, let's just read the question to make it easier for us to understand, and let's just break it down so we can see. It says the first step in wound treatment is the use of antiseptic solution to clean the wound. These solutions usually contain hydrogen peroxide, which is H2O2. So let's just read the question is given down there. The hydrogen peroxide is made of the elements hydrogen and oxygen. So we have two elements over here, which are hydrogen and oxygen. Identify one physical property that is the same for both of the elements. So we see that we have two elements which are given, and we're supposed to identify one physical property that is the same for both of these elements. So we're just supposed to identify one. So let's just think. We know that both hydrogen and oxygen, both of them are gases. So we know that both of them are gases. So let's just write that. But there's a catch over here. We cannot simply write both hydrogen and oxygen are gases. We have to phrase it, um, let's just say cleverly, and we have to be mindful of what we're writing. So we'll write both of them are gases at room temperature, because we don't know what they are at different states, right? At different temperatures, they might behave reactly, they might not, they might act as something else. So let's just be safe and let's just write both of them are gases at room temperature. And just to clarify, there are many other things as well. So you can write pointers. Both of them are colorless or odorless. Both of them exist as diatomic particles. That's it. Atoms, they love stability. So they will do anything to achieve that state of stability. So that's the same in case of the two atoms in hydrogen peroxide as well. They form a covalent bond in order to achieve stability and in order to fulfill their octet and duplet structures. So that is going to be our answer. And remember, we're going to write in pointers. The first point is going to be the atoms in hydrogen peroxide are bonded in a covalent bond. The first point, they share electrons in the covalent bond. That is our second point. Third point is going to be uh, this helps them achieve their respective octet or duplet structures. I'll come over here. That's That's it, that's our answer. See, it's really easy. Just think properly, you have to just write it in points and boom, you have a good answer that's ready to go. That's it for question 1D. Now we have question 1E with us. Let's just read the question. Let's just not waste our time. Let's just read. Let's just get to the point. State one other type of wave found in the electromagnetic spectrum. So let's just list down the electromagnetic spectrum for our reference. So first we know that there are radio waves. Radio waves have the highest wavelength with the lowest frequency. Then we move on to microwaves. To microwaves we have infrared waves, then we have visible light, and after that we have UV rays, which is ultraviolet, and then we have X rays, and then we have gamma rays. Gamma rays, they have the highest frequency but the lowest wavelength possible. So let's just list one of them. You can list any one of these. Let's just write gamma rays. We're done. And that's it for question 1E. Now we have question 1F. This is an interesting question, so let's just read it. The light waves emitted by a flashlight and a laser are shown in the figure below. We can see a white light source and a laser light source. Let's read the question. Outline how the waves emitted by the laser are different to those emitted by the flashlight. So we see the flashlight and then let's just look at the laser. So first we'll look at the flashlight, the white light source. So we see that there are multiple light waves emitted by a flashlight. Multiple different ones actually. First you see there's a red one with quite a good wavelength and frequency. Then there's a second one, then there's a third one. All of these things, they have different frequencies and they have different wavelengths. And as it's forming white light, then you need a combination of different frequencies and wavelengths in order to form a white light source. And then coming to the light laser source, we see that everything has the same frequency and the same wavelength. So then it's not completely different types of other waves and other frequencies. So let's just write that. So 2 markers, so we'll write 2 points. The laser light source has emits light waves that have the same frequency outline how the waves are different and wavelength. That's it. That's the first point, and the second point can be the laser source has only one type of light wave, whereas the white light source has a combination of multiple types of light waves. And boom, that's our answer. That's it. Let's do question 1G. This is quite a simple question. It's a 1 mark question. To just suggest one safety precaution that medical professionals need to take to protect themselves while they're using lasers. Let's just be very practical with this one. When you're working with lasers, you have to wear protective eyewear. So that can be one suggestion. Let's just write that down over here. Wear protective. Let's just write glasses. They just need to wear protective glasses to protect themselves from lasers, and that is one suggestion. That is one safety precaution. That there are multiple others that you may think that are right, so you can just write them down as well. Let's just like when you're answering this question, you have to be very practical and you have to just get to the point. no blabbering, it's just 1 mark. So just think with common sense and you get the answer. That's it. That's it for question 1G.